Hello, 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 and welcome to Beverly's Kitchen. My name is Beverly Lucas, and I am the host of For the Love of Cooking Fridays. What do we do on Fridays? I try to show you how to create and cook a meal that is always better than the restaurant. Always better than the restaurant. So what are we going to make today, Beverly? Look what's in front of me. We're going to make one of my specialties, a dish that I love, and it is called clam chowder. And not only do I love to make it, it is also included in my cookbook, For the Love of Cooking, pages 12 and 13. Let me show you. So we have the recipe, we have the directions, and we have all the ingredients. So come on with me and let's get started. So what do we have? So the first thing that I have is some little neck clams. Now usually when I buy them, I can find the real small clams in a bag, and there's about 50 clams, and that's what this recipe is based on. But they didn't have that in the store on yesterday. So these are still little neck clams, but they're just a little bit larger, but they will do. I have a bottle of some clam juice. We have some whole milk and some heavy cream. We have some red potatoes. We use red potatoes because of the consistency of the potatoes. It goes very good with the whipped cream and the milk. We have a bell pepper, a green bell pepper, and an onion. What we're going to do is we are going to saute the green peppers, the onions, and some garlic. Let me get some garlic. And some garlic with a bouillon cube and a cup of water and just a little white wine. And we're going to put our clams in a stock pot for them to open up. Also, we have some fresh thyme and we have some bay leaves. And of course, we always use salt and pepper to taste. Okay, so how are we going to tackle this? Well, the first thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to clean these clams, because clams have, they're from the bottom of the ocean, and so they're very, very gritty. So what we want to do is we're going to put these under some cold water, and I'm just going to rub all the grit off of it. And I have had clam chowder where I could still taste the grit from the clams. So we're going to do that first. So I'm going to take you over to the sink and show you how I do that. Okay, so I have my cold water going. And I also have my strainer, and I have a bowl of ice because we want to make sure that we keep them cold. So this is how I do it. Take it, and I just rub it off so I can't feel anymore. You want to make sure you check your clams as you're going along. And you want to make sure that they are shut, just like that. When they're shut like that, it lets you know that the clam is alive. And if they're open or if they're cracked in any way, you want to make sure you discard of that clam. I love clams. And because I'm in Maryland, we're the seafood state. So any restaurant you go in, they're going to have clam chowder. Okay, so we have our clams all washed and clean. I have them sitting aside. Again, you have to keep them cold, so they are sitting in that ice water. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to chop up our bell pepper and our onions. And I am using my favorite little gadget. Look at this from Amazon. It works just like that. So it is not only is it a time saver, it also has all your vegetables in a uniform shape. Next, we're going to put in our onions. You got to hit it hard. And there we have our peppers and our onions. 2 cloves of garlic. Gonna smash it. That's how I do it. You have to be careful with garlic. I say this almost with every video. You don't want it to cook too long. You don't want it to burn. If it burns, it can ruin your entire meal. It has a very, very bitter taste when it's burnt. Ask me how I know. but I love garlic and bell peppers and onions. That smell alone with a little white wine, this is going to give the clams, the inside of the clams, its flavor. I have the pan on right now to cook the bacon. Okay, so we're gonna cook the bacon. Okay, so I have my butter here. And I'm going to, this is a 1/4 cup, or how many tablespoons? 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons. It goes a 1/4 cup. So we're gonna put that in there. And we're gonna let that melt. Okay, the butter's melted. Put in the peppers and onions. Gonna add a little salt. And we're gonna add some fresh rounded pepper. And we're just gonna cook these until they are translucent. I'm gonna prepare the potatoes by just slicing them. You don't have to peel them because red potatoes, the skin is very, very thin. So I'm just cutting them like this. They all have the same thickness. I'm gonna get my contraption back, and we're gonna do the same thing with the potatoes. I'm gonna take the bacon out. And you could use any type of bacon. I just happen to use pork bacon, but you can use any kind of type of bacon. All right, we're gonna set that aside. Gonna go back to our, so back over to our onions and peppers, and I just added the garlic, and I'm just gonna cook it until I can smell the fragrance of it before I add my liquid. It smells so good. Now I have about a 1/4 cup of white wine. I like sweet white wine, so this is a Moscato. And I'm just gonna let that cook out. Wine has cooked out mostly. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 1 cup of water. And 1 bouillon cube, and I'm going to bring that to a boil. I did do a little taste, and it tastes very good. I'm just going to add just a little sugar. That's about 1/2 teaspoon. If you follow me, if you watch my videos, you know that I put sugar on almost everything, or put sugar in almost everything. I get that from my mother. She never let me in the kitchen, but I was always watching. And sugar is my secret ingredient. Between sugar and chicken bouillon, those are my favorite secret ingredients. Okay, I think we're ready to put the clams in. Again, the clams have been washed. Just gonna put all the clams in. And it's going to take about 7 to 8 minutes. On the top. Just until they open. Okay, so I'm going to get the rest of my ingredients together. I have taken a few twigs of some thyme. We have some bay leaves trying to fly away. I also completed the potatoes in my gadget. I'm gonna get my lime juice. I'm gonna get my clam juice and my milk ready. My heavy cream. I'm gonna open that up. I'm gonna check with my recipe book to to make sure that I'm making it my way. Page 12. Yep. We're following the directions to the T. So let me just get all this ready and let's move on to the next step. Okay, so the clams are complete, are done. So I'm going to turn this off for now. Now what I have to do, can you see that? Ooh, hot, 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 hot. See how they've opened up? Now we're going to take the clams out. Because we are not going to have to separate them. So I'm going to let them cool. But I have all this juice from the wine, from the bouillon cube, and now it has the flavor of the clams. And what that does is it gives the clam chowder, it gives it layers and layers, layers and layers of flavor. I love clams so much. Tell you, when I was pregnant with my first child, that's when I really started loving seafood so much. I had to have seafood every day. And then my second child, I was even worse. I had seafood all the time to the point where she's allergic to seafood. To a mother who loves seafood. So she doesn't like the smell of it. She blames me for it all the time. She's right, I am to blame. But, you know, you just want what you want when you want it, especially when you're pregnant. Okay, now I have all this delicious juice left. And we're gonna use that for the basis of the chowder. I know it tastes so good. Let me add in my clam juice. And I think also we're gonna put our thyme and our 2 bay leaves. Put that in there. I'm gonna put some more black pepper. It really does something when it marinates with the clams. I already know. I already know because I know me. So, if you are looking for a recipe to surprise your spouse, or you have a date and you want to make dinner, this is like the perfect, this chowder and a nice salad with everything on it. Not like a Cobb salad but without the meat. That would be a great dinner. If you're looking to be in the kitchen with your grandchildren to do something that you can do together, this would be a good meal, especially when it comes to the clams and they can actually, you know, be in front of the stove and watch the clams open up. Okay, this is real simple to do. You just take the clam and you just pull it out. Some people like to leave in the shells. I don't. I'll save one for presentation only. I was very good. I didn't even eat one. I want to though. It's very important that you taste your food as you cook. And I was just thinking when I put the herbs in, that's just another layer of flavor. When you put everything in at once, then you get a put in at once taste or mouthful. And so the palate is more pleasing when it can taste the layers of flavor. Oh, this is gonna be so good. And this recipe feeds about 4. Soup. size, chowder size, about 8 ounces. This is how I usually like them, little, just like that. Okay, so I have my cup of milk that I'm gonna add. So good. And the potatoes are also used as a thickening agent, so it's gonna help to thicken this. We have our milk, which we don't want to cook for very long or else it will curdle. And then I'm going to add my heavy cream. Oh, this is going to be so good. Behind me, you can see I was working on that salad that I mentioned to you earlier. So as things were cooking, I decided to go ahead and put together a salad. We have some yellow peppers, some tomatoes, cucumbers. I have an egg that's cooking right now, hard-boiled egg, and then we have some radish, and then I have some Swiss cheese. So this is going to be a very, very, very hearty meal. Okay, we have everything is ready. Everything is complete. So we are going to plate. So I let the potatoes cook. It took about a good 20 minutes. And we are going to put our chowder in here. It's not as thick as I would like it to be, but we're gonna go with what it is. And it looks so delicious. That looks so delicious. So let's finish it off. We have some Old Bay. We're just gonna put on top there. And then on my garlic bread that I broiled, I'm gonna put a little parsley on there. And for our chowder, we have some bacon, because everything is better with bacon. And we have some green onions. And I finished my salad suggestion to serve with this. And it looks like this. I added some mushrooms, some Swiss cheese, these two together with the bread. That's what we call a meal. Not only do we call it a meal, we call it a meal that is better than the restaurant. So, thank you for joining me on this Friday for the Love of Cooking Fridays. I hope that you have enjoyed this demonstration. I hope that I have taken you step by step so that you feel like this is something that you could do alone in your own home. Again, if you're trying to surprise us, you are looking for something special to do in the kitchen with your grandchildren or your children. The kitchen is the place to be, because the kitchen is a place where you take something and you just can become so creative. So this is my creativity at play at work, and it is what I love to do. And I am an advocate of letting people know, of telling people, of encouraging everyone to do what it is that you love to do. You know why? Because life is short. So you want to spend your life doing something that it is that you love to do. For me, it's being in the kitchen. The kitchen is the place that I love to be. So if you like this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead and leave a comment. But most of all, if you have not, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Every week, I try to be creative and coming up with a meal. If it's not from my cookbook, it's something that I've researched that I can show you how you can do in your kitchen. Today, it was clam chowder. I don't know what to call this salad. We'll call it the sunshine salad. Sunshine salad and just garlic bread that I bought, and I just put some butter over it, and I just put it under the broiler for a few minutes, and ta-da, we have a complete meal. Until next time, thank you for joining me. This is Beverly Lucas, and I am signing off.